Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a quick get ready with me. I think I always have some sort of base. However, I'm not wearing foundation or anything. I do have some color corrector on, as well as just other things I do as part of my routine, such as blush and my eyebrows, and I have a little bit of eyeshadow on. Looking in the mirror, I have mascara, a little liner too. So yeah, I think I'm just going to put on a little bit of more concealer and just get ready with me a little bit more. So I have some stuff to do. But more importantly, today I'm going to talk about my book. I'll start from the top. I'll go over the first concept and then the renditions and then the second draft. I had to change a lot of the fundamentals, but the narrative is pretty much the same. Anyway, yes, okay, so I'm going to start with some concealer, and maybe I'll do a little bit more eyeliner, and that should be it. Okay, lately I've been using Milk in the shade N9. I think I finally got that right. Last time I said Elf, and that's not true. It is Milk. Alright, so it's brightened up quite a bit, and kind of sweep that color everywhere. Yeah, it's like that. Okay. So I started with this concept 4 years ago. An agent told me or just advised me that when I am pitching this concept that I should attach it with some sort of extra literary material. So it could be a novel, it could be a graphic novel. It's a good way to pitch. It's a good way for your audience to visualize the concept, audience being maybe an agency or an investor or financier, someone of the sort, someone whose attention you are trying to achieve. I took that advice very, very seriously. Started working on something that was previously titled as Lee the Monkey. It is no longer about a monkey. The thing is, like, the concept, I remember I was like in the middle of transitioning from short films to full feature scripts, and I wanted to start working in the industry as opposed to being like independent. So I pushed myself to start rendering new concepts. And I had mentioned in my first or second video that my trajectory had shifted from political drama to a little bit more experimental sci-fi, grounded sci-fi. I don't have a title yet for the book, so I am going to continue calling it Lee the Monkey until I have one. I'm going to do eyeliner, and then I'll actually give you a little synopsis of the story. It was originally about a monkey who is a scientific experiment for the agency IRAB, International Research Administration of Animalia Biotechnology. The monkey is the subject of an experiment. The objective is to see if the monkey can reach human sentience. You see Lee live the life of a human being, experience tribulation, new ranges of emotions, what do they mean, and it's all very empirical as he is also observing the world. I wouldn't say that this is through my lens or anything. It wouldn't come from any loose conjectures I have against social constructs or norms. This is the first time I've ever been truly attached to a character, as I've given the story many years to develop. Normally I don't have a lot of sentimental attachment to my scripts or ideas, just because I know that, you know, they come and go. Some will be redeemable, some will just be a learning lesson. But I am very attached to the protagonist in the sense that I just kind of know him through and through, and I am aware of his intentions, and I'm aware of how the world perceives him. I'm aware of not only is he a victim, but he also abuses the position of a victim in its own not sometimes vindictive manner. The interesting conflict, or the main conflict of the story, is that as he is trying to achieve human emotion, there is a timeline set by the agency. Every 2 months he must produce some sort of emotion, some sort of neurological proliferation to prove that he is developing. If the character does not produce said emotion within that time frame, then the experiment is terminated. What I enjoy so much about this story is not only is it fixated on the protagonist, but the secondary characters, the supporting roles of the story, are just as voluminous and real and authentic as Lee. The head of the board, Dr. Alec, he is more than necessary. He is attached to Lee, whereas Other scientists believe that if they are too emotionally attached, this might create some sort of regressive intervention within the project. And also it might backfire, as Lee could be terminated, and therefore the scientists would have to kind of deal with that interpersonal guilt. So it was originally about a monkey. I did change it, as I mentioned before. It is instead about an extraterrestrial species that had inhabited Earth since the Eocene era. Instead of using proto-primates as an option, I thought it'd be more fun to work with this whole extraterrestrial concept. And it also plays into some of the plot holes that I had originally. One of the main questions, why is an agency experimenting on monkeys? Okay, so I figured to make things easier, I'd rather just read the synopsis. So I will be looking over and reading it. It just makes things a little easier for me, and I think I get a little tangential with the concept because I want to explain some of the subplots taking place. And I did a lot of work on the world building. It is immersive, and I'm excited to share that as well, but let me just get to the synopsis first. During the Eocene era, extraterrestrials inhabited our planet and evolved alongside proto-primates. Today, they coexist with us as part of the animal kingdom. Popular evolutionary biologists and astrobiologists theorize a more advanced foreign genus chose our planet as a haven for its subordinate species. The scientific agency claims now that they want to tamper with the species to achieve human sentience and employ them in different facets of different industries. So maybe militarize them or use them for big pharma testing of some sort. That was the original motive of Lee the Monkey, and I thought it was way more interesting to present something else to the public, something that is deceptive, and introduce a political narrative that I can manipulate while I'm marketing the concept. Popular astrobiologists and biologists theorize a more advanced extraterrestrial genus chose our planet as a haven for its subordinate species. Like most scientific agencies in the near future, the International Research and Administration of Animalia Biotechnology introduces their test subject, Lee, an extraterrestrial, to assimilate within society, as that may bridge the gap between man and the extraterrestrials that once chose our planet. While the public is against this potentially threatening leap of discovery and IRAB's immoral conduct, Lee is here and he deserves to live. Lee's capacity is nothing short of an average human being. He has a desk job in the city, he orders takeout by himself, and he's formed his own opinions on modern art, church, and political parties. Phase 1 of this experiment entails sentience, yet his ability is limited by instinct, which is regressive in a sense because he cannot develop, and of course he has that looming time frame over his head, the span of 2 months. If he doesn't produce or proliferate neurological development or new emotion, he will then be put down like a dog. The last thing I wrote in the synopsis is Lee is on the brink of loss until he meets his first friend, Virginia, another important character in the book. What I love so much about Russell, as I was saying, the supporting characters in the book have their own story, have their own backgrounds, have their own motives in terms of building a relationship with Lee, and sometimes it may appear transparent to the protagonist, and he is able to call out some, I would say, discrepancies within the relationship, and whether if the supporting characters are sincere. The two strongest relationships he has in the story are with Dr. Alec, who is head of the board of the scientific agency, and Virginia, who is a co-worker. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything. Okay, so I also do want to talk about the background a little bit of the extraterrestrials, and that concept I worked into the story. They did not just randomly invade Earth present day, rather they've been around and they evolved alongside us and play a role in the animal kingdom. I did write a more sophisticated elaboration of the concept, and I do want to read it to you. It's just, I have a whole file, just every single concept and definitions and ideas. It's just, there's so much work. There's like a little pitch deck that I have going. And yeah, so I'm just gonna start reading. The first ETs were introduced to Earth and a mammal-like appearance and competed with proto-primates during the Eocene era, which was 55 million years ago. In 1871, Charles Darwin presented the evolution theory. In the early 1900s, it was discovered that the neighboring primates inhabiting our planet were not only more socially complex than apes, they are also not from Earth. In the late 1900s, it was publicly revealed that aliens are among us, but are relatively less intelligent than Homo sapiens. Throughout these 2 centuries, various UFO sightings have been recorded. Present day, the ET primates we were raised alongside within the animal kingdom fit between apes and humans and play a fundamental role in our ecosystems. Many researchers theorize that the ETs that were sent 55 million years ago and the several that we've received in the recent eons need us. There's no malicious intent of invasion. Some researchers believe the aliens who sent the aliens we are coexisting with are hyper-intelligent. It is confirmed by the UN that we have globally received harmless invasions for the past 200 years by unintelligent extraterrestrials. However, their hovercrafts are technologically advanced. This actuated the US government to appoint scientific research on the evolved ET to advance their cognitive abilities with the intention of accessing and using their technologies for combative benefit. Eventually, these attempts failed, and now extraterrestrial primates are tested on and studied as we do with apes, continuing to cognitively advance them to reach human-level sentience, to develop a relationship with them, and send them on galactic missions to retrieve information on extraterrestrials who sent them to Earth. This is a secret operation given that the public is against contacting a potentially hyper-intelligent extraterrestrial species. So the government deceptively claimed that the continued research on familiar species is for different purposes, as I mentioned, to militarize them, use them for big pharma testing, etc. So yes, that is the background of this extraterrestrial species. And I also wanted to establish that they are not more intelligent than human life. Oftentimes, a lot of these alien-like concepts presume aliens to be more intelligent, to be a threat to human life, whereas I didn't want to kind of play into that trope. I wanted to work with something new and give this character an opportunity to experience human life in the way we do. And I will show you the book now. It's kind of compartmentalized because I usually take, it's kind of hefty. It is, mashallah, 358 pages. And I take out the pages now when I'm editing because it's kind of heavy and I don't want to carry it around everywhere, but I will show it to you. Leave monkey right here. New title, of course, is Due. It's not that thick right now because I took out a bunch of pages. I will show you the ones that I have worked on. I prefer to work on it by hand, and that kind of gives me a leg up on upping the draft. So what I'll do is I'll print it, edit it by hand, and then upload it to my computer, or like start editing on the computer, and that I kind of consider a new draft in a sense, just because I'm also again editing, and I might do something new, or I might take out some stuff that I don't like. Anyway, so yes, these are my pages so far that I have edited. Actually, I think I edited a little bit more than this. These are all my labels and tabs to keep track of everything. Blue represents plot, red represents character, orange and purple represent addition, yellow is grammar, a lot of yellow, and then green is just reduction, just taking out stuff that I no longer like, or it doesn't really serve the character or the plot anymore. Just stuff that I think is too redundant. And I've been having a lot of fun. I've been honestly reading a little bit more, especially within this genre, to see where I'm going wrong, or how am I keeping up with authors, if the work is adequate, really. So yeah, I've been reading more than usual, and I can't say that I'm tired. It does feel like a lot of work. I do edit 10 pages a day, and that takes me about an hour and a half minimum, 4 hours at most. I would say the average is 2.5 to 3 hours. Honestly, oftentimes it ends up taking 4 hours, just because this is my work. I want to be 100% with it. I cannot compromise. And you know, it's my responsibility to ensure that it is in perfect shape before I begin pitching. What I also really worked hard on is the world building. I really want it to be immersive, and I would like to implement its qualities in some of the marketing. So, you know how everyone kind of dogs on PETA for being insincere or being ingenuine with their motives? I would say IRAB is similar in the sense that they have immoral conduct when experimenting on Lee, and the public is, as I mentioned, not only against experimenting on intelligent life, intelligent species, they're also against the potential scientific leap of discovery, as it might impose a threat on humanity. And it doesn't escalate to that. Again, this is just a singular story based on social commentary, based on Lee's experiences as he is en route to becoming more of a human being. But of course, I think the public plays a huge role when it comes to developing as a person, and I wanted to enlarge that concept a little bit more. I wanted to make that world a little bit more realistic, serious, and dimensional. So yeah, this is pretty much the story. I look forward to where it's headed. Next script that I am going to work on is not about Lee, but rather about some of the supporting characters, and it will be a sequel. Again, I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'd love to, just because it's really fun talking about the story, but I am going to keep it here, and that's how I will conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will post next week. Bye!